My name is Allison. I'm standing in my living room, surrounded by the remnants of a relationship that's just imploded. The air is thick with tension, and the silence is deafening. I look around at the faces of people I once considered friends, their expressions a mix of amusement and judgment. And then there's him, Ryan, my now ex-boyfriend, standing near the TV with a smug look on his face, like he's just won some twisted game. It all started a few months ago. I'd been with Ryan for 3 years. He was 26, charming and magnetic, working in event planning and brand partnerships. His life was a whirlwind of late nights, networking, and social events. I, on the other hand, worked in digital marketing, with a more predictable schedule and a preference for a calm, structured life. We seemed to balance each other out, or so I thought. Ryan's friend, Jake, got divorced. It wasn't just a quiet split, it was a very public one. Jake started posting motivational quotes and gym selfies, acting like he'd just been reborn. Ryan felt he needed to support Jake, and I was understanding. I encouraged him to spend time with his friend. At first, it was just occasional guys' nights. Ryan would come home late, smelling of alcohol and excitement, but he'd always tell me Jake was doing better. But then, things started to change. Ryan began spending every weekend out with Jake and his new crowd. He'd spend half an hour getting dressed, putting on his best clothes and cologne, like he was going to a fashion show. I'd tease him, but his responses were dismissive. He stopped trying to impress me and started focusing on impressing everyone else. One Friday night, Ryan told me about a new club Jake had found with a VIP section. The word VIP made my stomach turn. I didn't say anything, though, because I didn't want to seem controlling. He left that night and came back at 4 a.m, glowing with excitement. He told me about how they'd skipped the line and how girls had been staring at them. I didn't smile. I couldn't understand why he was sharing this with me like it was a great achievement. The weekends became a pattern. Ryan would come home late, with stories of free drinks, bottle service, and girls buying them things. He'd answer my questions in half sentences, like I was an annoyance. And he started coming home with that distinct smell of alcohol, perfume, and loud clubs. I knew something was off, but I tried to stay rational. Then, one Saturday night, while Ryan was out, I was on the couch watching TV. My phone buzzed with a notification from Ava, one of Jake's new friends. I clicked on her Instagram story, and there was Ryan, grinding on some girl in a club. His face was full of freedom, like he was relieved to be away from me. I watched the video over and over again. When Ryan came home at 3:47 a.m. I was still awake. I confronted him about what I'd seen, and he got defensive. He called me insecure and possessive, saying that what he was doing was just dancing. That was the turning point. I realized that he didn't respect my feelings or our relationship. I decided to teach him a lesson. I downloaded Bumble and created a profile using our couple photos, cropping him out. My bio said I was a 28-year-old digital marketer looking for someone who respected boundaries. Within an hour, I had several likes. One of the people who swiped right on me was Lily, another one of Jake's friends. She messaged me, asking what I was doing on the app. I told her that Ryan thought I needed to be less possessive and more trusting. I knew she'd run straight to Ryan with this news. Sure enough, Ryan called me that night. He was furious, demanding that I delete my profile. He said it was cheating, but I pointed out that his behavior at the clubs was no different. Our argument escalated, and he finally hung up on me. The next day, Ryan came home early. He wanted to talk about boundaries. He showed me screenshots of my Bumble profile that his friends had sent him. He accused me of being petty and said that being on a dating app while in a relationship was cheating. I calmly reminded him of his own behavior at the clubs. He then threatened to do the same thing, and I told him to go ahead. By Sunday afternoon, I got a notification that Ryan had created his own Bumble profile. His bio said he was recently out of a toxic relationship and looking for a woman who understood trust. I knew this was going to cause a stir. I also started getting messages from people asking if Ryan and I were okay. I told them we were taking a break. Ryan came home that Tuesday night, enraged. He accused me of telling people we were broken up. I told him that he'd been acting like he wasn't in a relationship every weekend. He then decided to invite everyone over on Thursday to talk about my behavior. Thursday arrived, and my home was invaded by Ryan, Jake, Lily, Ava, and a couple of other people I barely knew. They sat on my couch like they owned the place. Ryan started the meeting, saying that I'd done something manipulative. Lily jumped in, saying that what I'd done was classic control behavior. I asked them to define what was toxic about my actions. The conversation quickly turned into a heated debate. I pointed out the double standards, asking if it was okay for Ryan to grind on strangers at clubs but not for me to have a dating profile. They tried to justify Ryan's behavior, saying that clubs were social and dating apps were for meeting people. But I pressed on, asking them why they were all there trying to make me delete my profile if there were no boundaries. In the end, Ryan decided to change his Bumble profile to say that we were in an open relationship. He publicly humiliated me, and his friends laughed and cheered. That's when I knew it was over. I stood up and told everyone to leave. Ryan was furious, but I didn't care. I was done being disrespected in my own home. That night, I got a message from a guy named Leo on Bumble. He seemed nice, and his message made me smile. I knew that I was finally ready to move on. A few days later, I received a video from a guy named Max. It showed Ryan at a club, doing body shots off a woman. I watched it, and for the first time, I felt no pain. It was just confirmation of what I already knew. I confronted Ryan with the video. He tried to make excuses, but I wasn't listening. I told him he had 30 days to find somewhere else to live. He laughed at first, but when he realized I was serious, his smile faded. He started a smear campaign against me, but I had the video as proof. I also called the police when he threw a party at my place while I was at work. The party was shut down, and he was left with a mess to clean up. On eviction day, Ryan refused to leave. But with the help of Jake and his DJ friend, we got his things out of my apartment. He cried and threatened me, but I just told him that he'd made his choice. After he left, the quiet in my apartment was almost overwhelming. But it was also a relief. I started going on dates with Leo, and things were different. We didn't go to clubs or try to impress strangers. We just enjoyed each other's company. Ryan tried to come back a few weeks later. He knocked on my door late at night, saying he missed me. But I didn't open the door. I knew that I'd made the right decision. Looking back, I realized that boundaries are not a punishment. They are a way to protect yourself. Ryan lost me because he didn't want to take responsibility for our relationship. And I won because I chose myself. I will never apologize for standing up for what I believe in.